Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your 2022 Oakland mayoral candidate. Well, today's Super Bowl, and I've already made the salsa and chips for my guests here in the camp, and then anybody who drops by visiting. And we're going to be making my half-pound cheeseburgers here. And I'm just giving those away to the folks that are in the camp, and also, like I said, that show up. I'm going to show you how I do it. It's really simple. I have the Hamburger Meat here, as you see, and it's a 80-20. 80-20, and that makes for a good burger that doesn't just literally melt away when you're cooking it. And so I like the 80-20 because it does have enough fat so that it holds everything together and it still tastes good. And then how I measure out the size, in the past I've used a top like this, simple red top. This one happens to be off of a coffee mate creamer container, and so it's the right size, the right thickness. And then what I do is line this with aluminum foil, and then I apply the seasoning. And here's kind of the fun part about hamburger, because there's a lot of ways you can make it taste like your favorite hamburger joint, wherever that may be, or you could create something on your own. And since hamburger essentially is just ground up steak, I like to use a steak seasoning, and in this case, Montreal steak seasoning. And so that's one of the secrets that I use for my hamburger patties. Sometimes I'll use a Louisiana Creole spice. So you can mix it up and have a lot of different tastes and a lot of different flavor profiles. So I'm going to move the camera down. We're going to put one together, and the end product will look like this. It's already wrapped in foil. It's got all the seasonings marinating into the hamburgers until I finish cooking. And so I'm going to show you how everything's done. So we'll be right back. Okay, now I've got the aluminum foil. We have the mold. We have the meat. We have the seasoning. So we'll put the seasoning aside for the moment. What we want to do now is fit all of the aluminum foil as tightly as possible into this lid. And so we're going to very carefully just take the aluminum foil, guide it around, and push it into the corners to fully form the mold. And then after that, we're going to put a little bit of seasoning in so that we have seasoning on the back side, the top side, when we put it on the grill. And it's already starting its flavor profile. So here we go. Here's again the seasoning. We just shake a little bit right into the surface. Grab some meat, it's close. We're probably going to need a little bit more, but about half a pound or so of meat. Then we're going to firmly push it down into the seasoning and into the corners. We want to push it hard into the corners so that it forms a good solid fit inside of there. And so we're pretty close. Yep, we should have just a little bit of a hill at the top once you've pushed everything in. And then what you want to do is kind of make a little crater right in the center, because what happens when the meat shrinks, it all shrinks to the center. And if you notice on a burger, when you hand make them like this, they turn into kind of like a ball here in the center. And so what I always do is kind of poke a little crater into that center And the sides will be a little bit higher, which is fine, but it gives a relief for the hamburger meat to go. And then we're just going to cover the burger with a light sprinkling of the spices. And then we're just going to wrap this up just like this, just fold it over very carefully, pushing it down into the meat so that we force all the spices, all that flavor into the meat. And then we just fold this over like this, once again over, and then there's our patty. It's all ready for cooking, and so I'm going to pre-form a whole bunch of these with this meat, and then we'll be ready for the barbecue later today. So that's how I do this, and it's really simple, and so have fun with it. Try a lot of different seasonings, because it makes a difference, and you'll find a lot of choices and a lot of selections, and something you may find a spice combination that you really favor, and it's a great way to change things up for the plain ordinary hamburger. And then when later today, when we start cooking, I have cheese to go on top of this. So I have a jack cheese or a mild, or actually it's a medium cheddar if I remember right, a medium cheddar or a jack cheese that goes on top and melts on top. So that'll be the half-pound burger today for the folks, but it's easy to make. Enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll see you right back here.